Hey guys, what is going on? This is CardinalBird5, and today I want to talk a little bit about the roster update that was put out today. Very unexpected since it is a Thursday. I know they're going to change it to Fridays. I don't know the reasoning, but I might as well show you guys, make a video, show you guys some of the new updates. I don't even think it's out on the game yet, and I don't even know if it's on their website. But Daddy League does have it up. So let's take a look at some of these players that have been changed. Paul Goldschmidt dropped to a 95. Cabrera dropped to a 94. I'm not going to name every single one. And we're going to look into a few of these too, why they changed. Rizzo is now a diamond at 93. We're going to take a quick look at him. We're going to take a quick look at Cano, who, in my opinion, is one of the most interesting changes to this week. He does jump up +3, but we're going to dive into his ratings later. Cespedes, we're going to take a look at too. Fowler, finally someone that deserves a gold. If anybody, it's got to be Fowler. He's having one of the best seasons so far in the league. Roofnet Adore. Just going through this list here. Jason Hayward went down. I'll talk a little bit about him. Murphy went up. Piscotty went up. And as you see, the list goes on and on and on. The one thing I'm disappointed being a Cardinals fan, I do not see Diaz yet, so I'm expecting him to go up maybe next week. But these are all the players, and if you guys go to this link right here, this is on Reddit as well. You can see the changes. They are indeed on Daddy Leagues, but you see they actually did quite a bit of update. I'm not sure why they released it early. But again, let's start talking about some of these changes. Starting with we'll do this last. We'll do those last. Starting with Stephen Piscotty. Being a Cardinals fan, I can tell you I get to see this guy play every day. He has one of the best looking swings I've seen. He was definitely due for an upgrade. He was hitting, I think he's hitting over 300, 315. So he hits really well, and he has shown a little bit of power this year. And you can see the changes here. His contact jumped up to +4. His contact versus lefties went up 6, and you see his powers, they jumped up to 66. Nothing else changed. Pretty basic update there. We go into Daniel Murphy. Now this is a card that was finally due for an upgrade. He's just been hitting everything. His contact versus righties went up +4. Same for his contact versus lefties, and of course his power went up. His flashback card is still way better, but this card was definitely due for an upgrade. And that's pretty much it for the Murphy, just his hitting went up. So definitely a cheap budget option at second base. You can get him for under 1,000 stubs at the moment. Piscotty, by the way, you can get for really cheap too. I mean, that's a heck of a card for 200 stubs. We go into Jason Hayward. I know he's had some injury problems. He does jump down to a silver though. It's funny they still have his Cardinals on there. But we'll take a look at his changes. His contact versus righties went down 6. Versus lefties went down 7. His power went down +3, then +2. Vision went down +6. Discipline does go up a little bit. He's still drawing walks. Yeah, everything else pretty much stayed the same. His defense isn't affected. I know he's having some wrist issues. I expect him to be fine. He did the same thing last year. Started off really slow. And the thing about Jason Hayward is he's so athletic. He doesn't have the prettiest looking swing, but he gets on base a lot and he puts the ball in play, and he's eventually going to hit for a decent average. I don't know if he's going to hit 20 home runs. He doesn't even have 1 home run, but he might still hit you 10 to 14 home runs. So I don't expect his power to change too much, but his contact is probably going to go back up a little bit. So this is definitely a good card to buy while it's low. The price is probably going to go down even under 1,000 stubs. His fielding is still remarkable though. Moving on here, Roofnet Adore. One of my favorite players to use in franchise last year. I think one of the most underrated second basemen in the game. 85 overall second base. He does jump up to a gold. He does bat from the left side. And the interesting thing about this card is it's going to have some of the most power out there, especially against right-handed pitching. He does come with 71 contact versus righties and 70 power versus righties. As you can see, those both went up. Against lefties, he's still 64, 54. Nothing changed. And that was really the big update with Roofnet Adore and why he jumped up to a gold. If you guys need a valuable, cheap budget second baseman, you definitely want to take a look at Roofnet Adore. As well as there's Posey and Dozer's good against lefties. But this is a good card because he comes in hitting 70 power against righties. Dexter Fowler, finally due for an upgrade. Let's take a look at his changes. He was actually changed about a week and a half ago. But his contact versus lefties, his contact versus righties jumps up to a 73. His contact versus lefties jumps up to a 98. Power versus righties 66. Power versus lefties 56. Vision goes up a little bit. Discipline even goes up. Nothing else changed really with Fowler except his speed or his stealing. But My apologies there. It was speed and base running aggression, which base running aggression does nothing, but it still jumps up to a 58. The thing about Dexter Fowler, he is a really patient hitter. And this year he's shown that he's hitting for a little bit more power and contact. So I don't expect him to keep it up, but he definitely deserved a gold. He's a really valuable player, not only in real life, but in the game as well. Another good budget player you guys can go get, a switch hitter, center fielder. Has decent speed, 80 reaction, which is really good. He might be more suited for the corner outfield spots since he does have 65 fielding. But he's a switch hitter that's going to give you 73 and 66 from the right against righties, and then 98 and 56 against the lefts against left-handed pitching. So yeah, he's going to have a little more power against righties and just almost nearly maxed out contact versus left-handed pitching. Definitely a good bargain, and he finally did get a gold, which he did deserve. Moving on to Cespedes now, he kind of changed in a few areas. His contact versus righties went down actually 5 points, and his contact versus lefties went up 5 points. But his power versus righties did go up +7, and his power versus lefties went up +3. However, his vision did go down, his discipline went up. Nothing else changed, but I just wanted to show you guys that a lot of things did change with him. He does jump overall +1 point. I think he's a better card now. He's more of just pure power. He does have pretty low contact and plate vision, but he definitely has good hitting and good fielding. And I still use this card occasionally on my bench. Pretty good bargain too, I think, for 12,000. This is kind of like a cheap version of Stanton, honestly, with that 90 and 84 power, plus with the inside edge. Sometimes he's going to have nearly maxed out power. We'll go to Robinson Cano. Now, I find this to be the most intriguing update out there. I've been seeing for 2 years now his fielding has been absolutely overrated. But at the same time, especially his hot start this year, he did deserve an upgrade. So +3. Let's talk about how that +3 came about. His contact versus righties went up +8. Makes sense. He's absolutely destroying right-handed pitching. Against lefties went down a little bit, but here's where the big jump happened. We see 62 power versus righties went all the way up to 81. So when I was talking about Rougned Odor earlier, now we actually have a legitimate live series second baseman with 80+ power against right-handed pitching. 81 power is just remarkable. That's almost up there with that flashback Daniel Murphy. Also, make sure you guys check out the Matt Carpenter when he has inside edge boost. He can go up to 90+ power sometimes, and he can play second base. But anyways, back to Cano. His power versus lefties did go up a little bit. His vision went up +8. However, his discipline went down, which only really affects check swings. It's really not as important. But let's move over here and take a look at some things they finally did change, something I've been complaining about the past 2 years. Now, I know if you're a Cano fan and you watch him play, you got to be honest with yourself. Yeah, he does look really smooth at second base, and he's a good overall defender. But come on, the guy should not have 87 fielding or 84 arm strength. That's just insane, really. He's not a top elite second baseman defensively. He gets his value from his hitting. That being said, they dropped his fielding 9 points, which 78 is still well above average for second base. I think he honestly should be lower than that. But hey, he dropped to 78. His arm strength dropped 3 points. His arm accuracy dropped 3 points, and his reaction dropped 2. So overall, that's I don't know how many points that is. That's 9, 12, 15, 17 total points in defense he dropped. And then everything else stayed the same. So a lot of things changed with Cano. That kind of went under the radar. A lot of people won't notice this, but his fielding did indeed go down. I'm not saying you don't play him because of his fielding. His fielding is still pretty good for a second baseman. I just wanted to, let you guys be aware that this probably would have been a diamond card if his fielding did not change. And I think the developers made a really good decision here because, in my opinion, Cano, I don't know if he deserves diamond, but I think they did a pretty good job with his attributes right here, and it really reflects how he's playing today. Next, we're going to move on to Anthony Rizzo. Now, this card had some few changes as well. He only went up 1 point, but he became a lot less of a threat against lefties. Let's just say that. So look at his attributes. He went up +5 against righties, went down 7 against lefties, went up +5 in power versus righties, but went down against 7 in power versus lefties. His vision did go up 8 points. Discipline went up 4. Nothing else changed, pretty much just his hitting attributes. But basically, he became more of a threat against right-handed pitching, and he's not going to be much of a threat against left-handed pitching, even though, that's not bad. But when you have to consider the fact lefty on lefty is hard enough as it is, The cool thing about Rizzo before this was that he was a pretty good hitter against left-handed pitching, so he kind of had reverse splits at times. And now it's not so true. He's more of just of a traditional right-handed power hitter like Chris Davis, and he's mainly going to rely on hitting right-handed pitching. But he does jump up to a diamond, so his price is going to sell up. Is he worth diamond? I mean, sure, yeah. I don't mind the fact he's a diamond, but I would just be careful with these prices. Like, not a card I would invest in, especially, especially that he can just have an easy chance to go right back down to gold with the small, if he starts to cool off against righties. But yeah, those are the updates, guys, and those are the main updates. I'll post a link with Daddy Leagues in here. You guys can take a look for yourself. They have a lot of updates that they did today. So again, I'm not sure why it's Thursdays. It's supposed to be on Fridays for the most part. But wanted to get this video out there. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Cardinal Bird 5 signing out. Peace.